maximally from the wealth of their knowledge. Thank you for your attention and active participation. I wish all of us a productive and impactful event. Thank you.
Well, productive and impactful it promises to be today. And let's welcome the Vice Chancellor for his opening remarks and also to declare the workshop.
The members of the Governing Council present, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor G. Onola Bakari, Deputy Vice Chancellor Marine Services, Professor Ibuiga Fawani, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Research, Technology and Innovation, Professor Mokhtar Chidai, the Registrar, Mr. Mansour Adili Afanda, the Bossa, Mr. Abiodun Lawal, Provost and Deans, especially the Dean of PG School, Directors of various units, teachers and supervisors of our PG programs, Presidents, Postgraduate Student Association, our big brother and mentor, Professor J.S. Ilorin, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by congratulating the Postgraduate School for putting up this program together as a workshop to reposition the postgraduate program in our university. I also want to appreciate the teachers and supervisors on the PG programs in various faculties and centers. You are doing such a yeoman's job. We know that these are indeed challenging times. We appreciate the work that you are doing for our university. While appreciating you, we also want to make demands of you. It cannot be gainsaid that for any PG program worth a salt, quality assurance is an imperative. And to that extent, I want to continue to appeal to us that our postgraduate program should be such that we will be able to defend the degrees that we are awarding. Apart from defending the degrees we are awarding, I also want to plead that time is money. We must endeavor to put in place time management strategies such that a 3-year program is a 3-year program, such that 18 months program is 18 months and nothing more. That is the only way we can actually sustain the PG program. On the part of administration, we have pushed and Senate has approved that we pay PhD supervision allowance, and by God's grace, we are starting that from this session. In spite of the budgetary constraints, administration paid yes token for 2022-2023, but and I have received appreciation in spite of the fact that it's yes our duty to do it. I also want to thank you for appreciating the little that administration has done. It's a hope that all this little intervention will continue to motivate us to do our work better and in a more timely manner. We also appreciate the challenge of delayed payments, but we must not be oblivious of our history. Why did the payments become centralized again? If we are giving assurance that, yes, the PG school is seeking for collegiate, seeking for autonomy, if and when that is eventually concluded, are we likely to go back to the sordid past where the external examiner payment is a big issue? For us as administration, we will sit down and see how best we can fashion out a strategy to make the payments more effective, more efficient, and more timely. Because at the end of the day, there is no reason why payments cannot be made immediately and examination is concluded for the external examiners. I believe that the Dean of PG School and the bursar can sit down and work out the modalities to make it a more efficient process. I am pleased to be here. Once again, I congratulate the PG School and I declare this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. And now that the workshop has been declared open, we shall be moving straight into the very first lecture, and of course the one by our keynote lecturer, Professor OLAITAN. But just before then, I'd like to invite Dr. Hafsat Amir to kindly come and read the citation of the keynote speaker. And after the citation, the following 30 minutes or thereabouts will be for our keynote speaker. Thank you.
Good morning, the Vice Chancellor of this great university, the other members of the top management team, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to adopt the already established protocol for want of time. It is with great pleasure that I've been invited to introduce Professor Olakunmi OLAITAN, the distinguished guest lecturer of today. Professor Olukunmi OLAITAN is a distinguished academic and a pioneer in the field of health promotion and environmental health education. He holds a unique place in academic history as the first Nigerian and African to earn a PhD in reproductive and family health from the Faculty of Clinical Sciences, College of Health Sciences, University of Ilorin in the year 2009. This, of course, is a remarkable achievement that underscores his trailblazing condition for scholarship. He is a versatile scholar and practitioner, being a registered nurse with NMCN certificates. He has a certified wellness, health and fitness expert, and is an entrepreneurship and innovative educational expert at the University of Turku, Finland. With this numerous certifications from global institutions such as the USAID, John Hopkins Blooming School of Public Health, and the social care in the UK, his expertise spans areas like reproductive health, global health, school health, and early childhood development. Professor OLAITAN has not only excelled as a scholar, but also as an administrator. He has served as the head of Department of Health Promotion and Environmental Health Education between the years 2016 and 2019. He also served as the director of the Ilorin Advancement Center in 2021 to 2024, the roles which he demonstrated with exceptional leadership. Professor OLAITAN's research focuses are on critical public health issues, including but not limited to human sexuality, reproductive and family health, nutrition, education, adolescents and women's health, amongst others. With over 143 publications in prestigious journals and international outlets, he has made substantial contributions to academia practice. Beyond his publications, he has monitored the next generations of scholars. He successfully supervised 36 masters and 15 PhD theses. He was appointed as a full professor in 2017, and this career has spanned an impressive 23 years of academic teaching and research. His contributions are recognized globally as evidenced by his presence across academic platforms such as Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Scopus, and more. He was the head of Department of Health Promotion and Environmental Health Education between the years 2016 and 2019. He was also the director of Ilorin Advancement Center in the year 2021 and 2024. His current research is on human sexuality, reproductive and family health, including human fertility, HIV and AIDS, public health education and promotion, nursing, women and adolescent health and wellness, amongst others. In addition to his academic and professional achievements, Professor OLAITAN is a member of the United Nations Standing Committee on Nutrition and the Teachers Regulation Council of Nigeria. He embodies the ideals of intellectual excellence, leadership, and service to humanity. Married to Magistrate Omolola OLAITAN, with whom he shares the joys of freely, Professor OLAITAN exemplifies the balance of professional success and family life. Once again, we are privileged to have this eminent scholar and administrator share his wealth of experience and insights with us today. Join me in welcoming Professor Olutomi Lare OLAITAN.
Thank you very much, everyone. Once again, I want to adopt the existing protocol to especially recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nashukwalibewale, SA Head, FSPSP, and other principal officers of the university. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Well, I believe I won't waste our time because I will pinpoint and go straight to the point. But let me say that I want to thank the PG School for giving me the opportunity to speak on the topic titled Training the 21st Century Graduate Students, Expectations, Skills, and Flexibility. This presentation will explore the evolving landscape of graduate education, examining the expectation, skills, and flexibility needed to prepare students for success in the dynamic world of today. These are my expected outcomes. That is, at the end of this presentation, I believe the participants will understand the concept of graduate students, PG teacher, supervisor, and administrator. They should be able to differentiate between the pre-21st century and 21st century age. They should be able to recognize some negative attitude and behaviors of our postgraduate students towards the PG lecturers and their supervisors. They should be able to report some negative attitude of some PG lecturers too towards the postgraduate students. And we should be able to describe the PG lecturers' positive attitude towards the postgraduate students, understand the biggest challenge of graduate students, assess the way forward for the 21st century graduate students, identify the key expectations for 21st century required for PG students, supervisors, and administrators, and to be able to utilize the strategic guidelines and practical recommendation for appropriate 21st century training of graduate students. Let me start with these quotes so that we have a mind of what I conceptualize. A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light way for others. I believe we should ruminate on that quote. And this also, that a good supervisor or a good administrator is a catalyst, but not a controller. We get to know why those quotes as we go on. Let's quickly divide the players. The players in this title are the graduate students, the PG teachers, supervisor, and administrators. You will be wondering why I'm trying to explain who a postgraduate or graduate student is to us. It's because most times, many of our colleagues don't really know what is embedded in graduate students. A graduate student is an individual with a bachelor's degree pursuing advanced education in a specific field, which we generally call PG students. But because they already have a bachelor's degree, you remember before we are married, for me, they call you bachelor. When you marry, you become married. Your title, your status changes in the society. So for a graduate student, they should actually be addressed as graduate students. Say, for example, a graduate student have graduated and studied, let's say, MBBS, and is a doctor. Address that graduate student not by his first name, but by doctor, then you put the last name. But most of them say, oh, John, come here. No, because the person has already undergone a bachelor's degree, is at the other level. We should properly address them the way they should be addressed. If the person studying them, we say, lawyer this, or barrister this, or Mr. this at worst. So, what of PG teachers? PG teachers are academic staff members who teach and support postgraduate students, which we popularly call lecturers. Supervisor, they are faculty members who guide postgraduate students in their research. Here, we call them my research supervisor. In other clients, they call them academic supervisor. Many of us that our students have been sending documents to us to do some referee for them, they say, make sure that your academic supervisor does the reference. So in other clients, they are academic supervisor. Now, administrators, they are individuals responsible for administrative aspects of postgraduate program. Usually, we call them non-teaching staff. Now, talking about 21st century expectations, skill, and flexibility, there is need for us to quickly look at pre-21st century. What are the pre-21st century attitude of lecturers? Usually in pre-21st century, it is usually authoritarian and disciplinarian. disciplinary. If you look at that slide, a person trying to win a child, that was what it was in pre-21st century. When the lecturer will be mounting the authority and it is from top to down, he will not even allow any autonomy of the student. He believes that whatever he says is the final. Go and do this, which most people are still doing now, forgetting that there is a paradigm shift, which we go to after this. Sometimes, in the 21st century, pre-21st century also, the lecture or teaching usually is didactic. It is one way. You just begin to do the lecture, you may not give room for students to ask questions. Sometimes when they ask questions, when I was in the undergraduate, there is this particular lecturer. In fact, we are scared to ask questions in this class. If the question you ask, you will say, share a sheet of paper. All of you will do it. And honestly, we know that he's not prepared. He's usually prepared. Be quiet. We don't want it. Students naturally we don't want to write snap test. So we will not be telling ourselves, please, Larry, don't ask questions today. We know you will ask questions. So don't ask questions today. Don't subject us to unnecessary snap test. So it is usually didactic there. It is one way, such that the teacher of pre-21st century, then most of them will not allow it to cross from the students to the lecturer. Now, so also then there is what we call limited feedback, which some of us are still doing now. Sometimes they bring their project to us. You just assess the project. You see a place that is not clear to you, sometimes you just cross it. Sometimes you just put question mark. They say rewrite or represent, and just send it back to the PGO. The student picks it. You don't really know what to do because there is no adequate feedback. The student will be going here and there. They don't really know what this person means. But in that case, if you see something that is not clear, you could say not clear, meaning you can put a bracket, see me, or expatiate. So that is how to actually give appropriate and effective feedback. Then in those days too, in pre-21st century, it's usually focused on content. People will say, what they send me to come and do here is to come and teach. And we come to class, we dish out what we need to dish out, and we go. Any other thing, you are not involved, including the certain thing that can affect the emotional status of the student. But in the 21st century, it is more of collaborative, which we will see briefly after this, because the lecturer has to work collaboratively with students. And I can categorically say, most of the groundbreaking research in the Western world, in America, even in this university today, because there is this collaboration between the students, the lecturer. I remember vividly of recent, the PG school had a collaboration with one of his PhD students. Unfortunately, it was during COVID. To discover certain things, I think better whatever, to prevent us from COVID. But if the lecture has been pre-21st century and you see the didactic, it is only from you. That idea cannot come from students. It has groundbreaking breakthrough in such research. There is need for collaborating, and there is need for facilitating. Teaching is often facilitating with lecturers guiding the students. You see, most of the time, we don't really guide these students. We force them instead of guiding them. Like when a student comes to me, I tell them, what exactly do you want to do? Sometimes, some students will just give you what they want to do because they are interested, or perhaps they have seen a particular thing they could learn from. Then you ask them, why do you want to do this thing? The question you are trying to pose to that student is for you to get the SOP, whether a problem is on ground in that arena that supports them going into research, to see whether the outcome of going to that research can solve that problem. But if the student is telling them, I just like to write on nutrition, it's because I just feel that I can write on nutrition, and there is no problem on nutrition, then I advise the person that every research is to solve a problem. If you are writing research that is not solving a problem, you can never win any grants. That's when they are only writing for writing's sake. So there is need for us to let them know that they should be guided with what is in their mind, not what is in our mind. Sometimes some lecturers even have lists of titles that when they come to them, they say, you, this is the topic you will do. You, this is the topic we will do. It is not fair. That is pre-21st century. Let them say their minds. Only supervise them and guide them to do what is in their mind right. So supporting. We need to also give them full support, especially in providing this feedback for them, just like I said, in guiding them, and let them have this autonomy to say, for example, when there was a time when I was doing my first master's degree, so we were to do a presentation, and this person was writing on something on Coca-Cola factory. We were in health education. So I said that, why are you writing Coca-Cola? Okay, I said, okay, just keep writing what you are writing. When the person presented, not knowing that this person has a grant, that if you can write something relating to our factory, we will retain you and we will promote you to a certain level. But imagine that supervisor says, no, this thing is not related. Topic you should write, and the person go and write on something else. The person will probably lose that job or that grant. So there is need for us to only help them to guide them right. If you are writing on Coca-Cola and you are in health education, you will write on maybe right benefit of taking it or hazard of taking so numbers. And you try and tailor it around the mind of the student. So the student will still be happy that he is still the master of what is writing. The regular feedback, I said, is very important for us to be definitive about the type of feedback we'll be passing across to them. Then focus on skill these days and competencies. You see, this thing is very important. In those days, the lecturer will just dish out the teaching and leave. But this age, we have to really focus on skill such that a graduate, they will be able to practicalize what they are doing. Enough of the age of, you remember the Bloom taxonomy of educational objective, the first thing that talk about the cognitive domain, the affective domain, and the psychomotor domain. The thing is just about knowledge. What is this? This is this. You know it. That is olden days. The affective domain and the psychomotor domain is what is the in thing now. And the affective domain is you want to know about even the feeling of your students, not take the knowledge. You want to put their mental and emotional status. You want to care for it. As well, the psychomotor domain is the doing. You want to see what they can actually do. They can practicalize things. So most of the time, even when we set our question, most of our question we say, what is this? Define this, state this. They are not good questions for postgraduate students. We should be able to allow them to express themselves. See, by express themselves, certain things that you have not even seen before, or that you have not known before, can cross your mind. And you'll be able to see a new thing. You see, by the time you have them to express themselves, you are giving them opportunity for the 21st century skill, which we call critical thinking. So they'll be able to think deep. Is it this? Look at a question like, supposing you are a president of Nigeria for 1 hour, what will you do? It's a big critical thinking. The person will be thinking of so many things for 1 hour. What will I do? So by the time those people, by the time you see the feedback that will come from that part of that particular type of student, you'll be amazed that people can really think deep. Now, just like I said, in this age, it has to be from student-centered, not from teacher-centered. Most time, when we deliver lecture, we should make it interactive to post certain things to them so that we'll be expecting information from the student. Now, pre-21st century and 21st century, there is the paradigm shift, which I call from no connection to connectivity. Pre-21st century, if you look at that picture, most teachers or lecturers carefree about their students. They just say, let me teach and go home. When I take my salary, I go. This student, this particular student is even facing somewhere else. A white teacher is facing another, is facing the board. There is this complete disconnect because is of authoritarian, didactic, disciplinary, limited feedback, and focus on content. But the now is from no connection to connectivity. You must connect. There should be this, what we call collaboration, facilitation, supporting, regular feedback, and focus on skill and competencies. These three unique things can make us be a better teacher, or better lecturer, or better supervisor, or even better administrator. When we give them opportunity to think deep, they have this critical thinking. When you marry it with collaboration, you give them the support. And you communicate in a language that we understand. Bringing those three together, we bring what we call creativity. Creativity is the only thing that can make somebody to fall their head. When they say there is creativity, that's something new. It's like a rebirth. So we should encourage those three things: critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. It will bring creativity. Now, the present situation now, especially the negative attitudes and behaviors of our students. I want us to listen carefully and please, let's take them very seriously. Most of our students, I would say some, most, you remember that we all know that there is this moral decadence. As the age is growing, the morality is going down. Disrespectful behavior is common now. Sometimes they come to class, they disrupt your class during lecture, sometimes insubordination. The question they should not ask you, they'll be asking you, okay, how was your night? What concerns you with my night? Did you sleep well? Fine. But how was my night? My night is for me and my wife. Well, that is reality. Asking you such question is insubordination. There will be some that may even be deeper than that. And most of them also have what they call verbal abuse. Sometimes you could ask them that, which class do you have now? And they are with you. They are having lecture. They can say, we have Yaya now. Yes, that is the way they don't say. They won't say we have something. They can say, we have OLAITAN now. In fact, we are just coming from Onivale, we have OLAITAN now. Yes, if you notice that they talk. It's abusive language. So they don't really have respect. We should bear it in mind. Because if we don't bear it in mind, we won't know how to relate with them with our own level of maturity. There is also lack of accountability. They have poor time management. I love my VC. For one thing, I never studied law, but my wife was his student. And his lecture, I think 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, every Monday morning, 1 minute. And he has been maintaining it since day one till he became the vice chancellor. That is discipline. Accountability. Because many of them actually have poor time management. They be flying their polo, coming to class anytime they want. You need to bear this in mind that many of them are like that, and we have to know that it's part of their negative attitude. That they have also unprofessional communication. Sometimes they be using this short message to text you. They want to text you good morning, GTM. Sometimes you'll be asking them questions. Yeah. You are saying yeah. So all these are disrespect. We should bear in mind. Why I'm saying this is because sometimes it can move to our nerves, the way they will behave, to make us think that we should also act negatively with them. Academic dishonesty, many of them, sometimes they give you topic, please note that any topic they give you, they must have seen an hint or the exact thing somewhere. In fact, they can travel as far from here to maybe ABU to go and look for projects. And they will try just to fine-tune maybe Kwancha local government to the West local government to you. Academic dishonesty, plagiarism, cheating, and fabricating data. Some of them will tell you that I've gone for field work. They are comfort zone. Saying that, let me give this one out of 200 respondents. Let me say 54 said yes. Then question. I said, I'm likely to say yes now. Me say, why 87 said yes, only 13 said no. So that it look original to you too. They do all this, they do this a lot. Then we also have this uncooperative behavior. Now, if failing to contribute in group work, you know some deviants that when there is group work, they will even some of be honest to tell you that, sir, so person did not contribute to this group work. And some of them will be covering that person. So when there is a group work, what I'm trying to pass across is them question individually and collectively who participated, who did not participate, so that we will be able to know how to help that person. Because all of them will graduate, just like the Vice Chancellor said, we have to be able to defend the degree we are awarding them. They will graduate with master or with PhD, like their other colleagues, and they didn't contribute. They don't contribute from day one to the last day they build university. How would they be able to practice when they get to the work life in this 21st century? Then even plan and set up. This is also very common. Many of them will be learning and tempting lecturers and secretly recording you. That's what is even in vogue now. Because some people naturally are sadists. When others are happy, that is when they are sad. But when others are in problem, they are in melancholy. That is when they are happy. So all this we should bear in mind. Talk to any student. Before you interact with any student, whether you see the camera or pen with him or not, with him or her or not, believe that the person is secretly recording you. So that one we also caution you to know your limits and to know how to set boundaries. Many of them have this even plan and setup. But having said that to the graduate students, we should also talk to ourselves, my senior colleagues, my colleagues, my other ones that are coming up. We also have negative attitudes of PG lecturers, which I will state. Those that I've seen over the years with my experience and with studies. Professional behavior, like verbal abuse too. So that you this stupid boy, no, it's abnormal. Don't forget, that is why I define who a postgraduate student is. That we should give them that title. It will be very difficult to say you are a stupid boy. If you have been calling him Mr. A, will you say, Mr. A, you are stupid? The sentence is long. You are not likely to say the person is stupid. So we have to caution ourselves. Sexual harassment, this is also involved. We have to be careful. Well, some will say it is nature. It is nature because you so try, you want to walk in that realm. There are that have never looked at somebody else since, and I know many of us are decent. Please, let's continue this. There are very few that believe that whatever they see in skirts, we move them. They should try on their brain because it is an addiction, and every addiction is a brain disease. Because when the dopamine releases, it will go into the cells. When it enters into the cell, that is what now brings that you should be looking for pleasure always. So by the time we work on ourselves, we will be able to solve the brain disease. Then bullying, we don't have to be doing it for the student. The lack of support, inadequate feedback, insufficient guidance are not available. Many of us, we are not available. I know that even this, as close as the exam is now, some lecturers have never taught a class to some group of their students. Even in this university, it's not impossible. Please, let us learn a new league. Because we want to be a great teacher. We will be like candle that consumes itself to light way for others. Now, unfair treatment, that's favoritism. Some will say, this person is a Christian. Thank God that university is advancing globally for students to be able to at least make choice of their supervisor. Sometimes in those days, I remember when we are just starting master this and that, the lecturer said, give me this, give me this, give me this, because I know this one will not be giving me problem. I know this one has a car. I can be sending me to can be carrying me around. They do in those days. favoritism, sometimes discrimination that I don't want this person. This from, I don't want to mention a place now. Then student labor. Also in this same university, where I know it must have been called now, during the time of, there are some people who will take postgraduate students to their farm to work for them in the farm. Yes, if you don't go to farm, in fact, this person practically have some that will report in his house in the morning, wash his vehicle, take the children to school. One is practically driving it, others will be in farm, then they rotate. They are graduating in record time. So we have to be realistic. That is student labor or extortion. Some will say, pay this, pay this, pay that. That is unfair treatment. We also have this disregard for student autonomy. And this is micromanaging. Sometimes you want students to do a project. You say, no, all the topics you brought, they are rubbish. I have set of topics. Pick anyone from this. It's micromanaging. Because by the time the person finishes writing that project, the person is not master of that thing. The person may even master it, but that is not. You see, there is what they call conceptualization. What the person conceptualizes in him or herself is very important. We are to supervise. That's why I said we are to be like catalysts, not a controller. So just to ensuring that what the person wants to do, the person is able to do it better within the confine of the professional ethics and the academic. Now, on ethical behavior, this plagiarism or academic, most of lecturers will also involve in it of interest. Some will say, give me so person because she's the wife to my uncle. I don't want her to have problem with so person. It's conflict of interest. And I know that some people that have dignity, people in Senate, when I've seen it in Senate, that a wife of one of the deputy vice chancellor want to be announced, they're taking results. And our result is part of the PhD result they want to take. The person took the vice chancellor and left the Senate. They read the result, the PhD result, and the person came in back. That is respect for himself, ourselves. So this is very important and bridging confidentiality. You want there is confidentiality about certain things, you don't have to be exposing it because you and your supervisee, you should be like 5 and 6. In fact, I call my own supervisor, our supervisor, they are our academic father. Cover my academic father. My supervisor is the next. Because he's the one that practically by PhD, he's the one that actually gave me what I have today. Whatever I have today, if he shapes you well, you will always remember. But if he shapes you the other way around, it will still be the negative thing you'll be saying about that person. See also the present situation. We also have positive attitude and qualities of PG lecturers. It is not all negative. And many of us really have academic excellence of the subject matter and currency, and they are relevant. They publish regularly and they master what they do, and it's so clear to them. In fact, sometimes when some people are teaching you, maybe it has happened to some of us that are in this hall, they will tell you that we give you 20 minutes. By the time you are to finish the 20 minutes, the student, please don't let him go, don't let him go. And some they will say they give you 20 minutes. Before the 5 minutes, they'll be shouting, they'll be clapping, going. It depends on how you have the grasp of the concept, the subject matter. So we need this academic excellence. Many of us have it. And effective communication, many of us have this effective communication also. That when they see the way you write in their project, that line 1, not clear, explain. Sometimes you can say, you can cross something. You cannot say, if not clear, command, that's what I do. I say, if not clear, see me. But sometimes when I explain, when I put something down, I don't know if not clear, because you can put something down, and they may go and follow that correction and do it. And because they didn't get what you really mean, they will innocently correct it. They correct it to a wrong thing. But sometimes people, if not clear, see me. So if the person is not clear, the person will see. That's how to give effective communication and regular feedback. The student center approach, this is very important. What do you want to do? How do you intend to do it? So I will tell us, because I confine a particular 7 strategic guidelines that can help us to be able to be on top of what we are doing. And that will be my recommendation that we're going to get to very soon. Organizational and management skill. This is also what many of us have. Many are very organized, like me. Tell I have the way I do my things in the university. The academics, I deal with it. When they come in for anything, nothing clinical, I don't do it. When I cross that gate, anything academic, except it is when you are calling me on it, I put it on hold. I will do other things. My other things that I do there is being organized. That many people are organized that they will say on Tuesday, it's when I see my PhD students. Maybe on Wednesday, that is when I see my master's student. Maybe on so day, I go for seminars. We need to have this, and I know many of us really have it, and it's really helping them to grow and help their students, especially in this 21st century. Interpersonal and leadership skill. Yes, many of us also have this mentorship skill. I was very glad that this advert, I don't know how many people got to know. Some chancellor called me. We wish you well. How I wish I'm here. You can see some retired professors, they are here. Because that is mentorship. And when the vice chancellor was delivering his speech, he also recognized specially someone, better by far. This mentorship. If there is disconnect, the way it is happening in the university again, many of them are still mentoring their students up till now. That's or their mentees up till now. So this is very important. And continuous personal development. This is also very important for us to be telling them to continue to publish, and we try to support them. But not that the student will write a thesis, he will go and pay for the publication, you will not say put my name. You have to really contribute. In fact, when they put your name, you even say your name should be the first author. It is not fair. So, but many of us to actually put them as the first author, and they will contribute to it. Now, the biggest challenge of graduate students, number one, is insufficient support, which I've mentioned by when there is no when the guidance is not there, you don't guide them properly, lack of communication, which I've mentioned, and administrative inefficiencies, especially delay in the processing of student requests. This is to the administrators. We need to know that this is a big challenge to the student. Now, what are the way forward? The way forward are, one, there should be effective mentorship, clear policies, and we give the student the adequate support. Now, what are our expectations and rules? As PG teachers, supervisors, and administrators. Well, I've highlighted them here. Because design and delivery is the role of teacher. Lecture and seminar planning and chief participation is the role of teacher, and assessment and feedback. That of the supervisor, which can also, because you can take the two roles, you can be a supervisor and still lecture and still have some 1 or 2 courses to teach the person. Is project guidance, regular meetings and feedback. You have to and help them in the research methodology. They may not know how to go about which methodology should I use, which research design do I use for it. You use your wealth of experience to give them the idea of what they should do. The administrators, they should, the admission and recruitment, they are the ones that are in charge of that. But they should do it effectively and, let the student record be well managed. In conclusion, my conclusion is what I do, what I saw others doing, and what I saw in the global best practices that made me to have this next step. That there is this 7 strategic guidelines, and I will tell us how we can do. Number one is individualized approaches. That is, how do you do this? The practical recommendation is that when a student comes to you, first sit the student down. Now, what do you want to do? What is their area of interest? Before you now know how to guide the person. Second one is active listening, questioning, and guidance. If you listen carefully, actively, you will be able to get the best from them. And how do you do that? You promote open dialogue. Let them be free with you. Don't let them see you as I can't stay in front of Oga. So that when you promote open dialogue, they'll be very free to talk. Support students, multifaceted groups. How do you do this? We can encourage students to create individual development plan. Offer support as they walk through it. Use of exceptional role model. Yes, you have some exceptional role model. For example, if you are in law, you can look for all those big people in law. Let them meet them. When they meet them, sometimes they will be saying, I want to be like so person. So create opportunity for students to be able to meet those leaders that are in the field. Next one is clear communication. You discuss with them, let them know your mind, let them talk to them about their research and tell them the kind of meeting of the research so that you'll be able to know how to go about it. And there is opportunity for funding. Expose them to it. It will help the students a lot. Then strong communities. Strong communities is, how do we get this? You encourage students to present their work at conferences. So when they present at conferences and at public, they'll be able to have more insight and gain more confidence. And finally, reflection on supervisory style. We, as teachers and supervisors, we should also, what I do? I assess myself. You should write down and outline our mentoring approach. Is it okay? What have I achieved? Sometimes I share it with my other colleagues and even my prospective students for them to know that the person you are coming to meet, these are his rules. And let me close with this quote that teaching is not a profession, it's a passion. Without passion for your subjects and your students, you will never be a great teacher. By Robert John Meehan. Thanks for listening and God bless you all. Permission granted for all images used therein and all sources have been acknowledged. Thank you.
Please, let's put our hands together one more time. Well, teaching truly is a calling. And when you see a good and a great teacher, it doesn't really take much before you recognize and realize. Well, for a group photograph, the vice chancellor is taking its leave. Please let's permit people at the table to have a group photograph with the vice chancellor outside. Our keynote speaker, please kindly join them. Sorry, in another 1 2 minutes, they'll be back. It's been a very wonderful time listening to Professor Ilorin speaking on the lecture titled Training the 21st Century Graduate Students, Postgraduate School, Professor Victor William, our keynote speaker, so and we are moving on to the workshop, and to take us on the workshop, we have Dr. Henry Abdurraouf, Dean Academics, Postgraduate School, Professor Eru Adejumo, Professor S.A. Aderibibi, and Professor Ejitimo. And one after the other, they will be coming to spend like 15 to 20 minutes with us on their papers. We'll start with the Director of State, Professor Rashid Begajimo. You're welcome. Dean of Postgraduate Studies, other distinguished resource person, former Dean of PG School, very senior professor, very senior professor, professors, and colleagues, student, postgraduate student here present. My own presentation is going to be very brief, but while we are setting up for me to do the few minutes presentation on the issue of use of artificial intelligence, I think I just want to pass a comment that University of Ilorin has set up a committee to draft the AI policy of the university. And part of the policy will also guide on ethical use of artificial intelligence, which I believe we started with the issue of plagiarism, even for some faculty. I believe when I was the dean of CIS, it was my part of my achievements that we procure a license, even at the faculty level, anti-plagiarism software for postgraduate students to use. Even students from other faculties also come to our faculty to use across the country. On the issue of AI, ChatGPT, of course, we have to move a step forward. If not, that we just want to because it is possible without those mechanisms for students to even you test plagiarism, you get zero. And the fact that you get zero in plagiarism does not even mean that the person did not actually plagiarize. And when you're talking of PhD, it's not something that should be dished out to somebody that did not really work for it. So, Professor Adile is also a member of that committee. The GBCRTI is a member, a director of credit. And we're putting us together to be able to have a policy on the use of artificial intelligence because we cannot shy away from artificial intelligence except we want to crawl when the world is moving fast. Thank you so much. Going to my presentation, it is the use of the new integrated enterprise portal for the postgraduate teaching. And it's delighted to let us know that from where we're coming from, we have what we call integrated enterprise portal. I want to define the word integrated. When you log into your portal at the University of Ilorin, you don't log in separately to PG portal, to IBS portal. Because it's possible that a single lecturer is teaching on PG, you are teaching on Ilorin Business School, you're teaching on Institute of Education, you're also teaching on preliminary studies. Staff of University of Ilorin, you need only one single login because we have integrated all our portals. What this will happen is that we are synergizing our processes. It is the beginning of the process mapping agenda of the university because a lot of silo operations, which makes our processes to be governable and to be undefined in a way. So I 2-3 logins because on my portal, I'm teaching physics of education, I'm teaching on Syria, I'm teaching as long as all this portal belongs to the union, they can be integrated and to be, we have achieved this for the university. So if I'm in computer science, I log in via my portal with my staff number, S number, and your password. And I'm sure all of us can log into our portal so that I will not start from this stage. So if I log in from my portal, I don't know how I'm going to navigate and go. It's okay. If I log in via my portal, I hope you can all see my screen. And my portal now, you can see Rashid Bengachi. That's my University of Ilorin portal. If I want to go to PG to teach my students, make sure the first thing is that HOD must assign PG coordinator, okay, on the portal. PG coordinator must define all the courses on the portal. We've been having back and forth on this with the PG school. And I want to appreciate the Dean of PG school for being ICT inclined and committed to get this. Department have resolved this. And I want to believe the DPGs will also fashion out the grants or the proactive department award to department that they were. Because as we speak, some departments have not even done anything. So without doing all this, we will not be able to get the beauty from this innovation that is coming from cost. So because the portal will not recognize the student, will also not recognize the lecturer. So the first thing is that the HOD must be defined. The HOD must define the PG coordinator, and the PG coordinator must define the courses. The PG coordinator or the HOD must assign courses to lecturers. Okay, all those are sacrosanct. And I'm sure it's not different from the same way we do this in the undergraduate for level advisor, for this and others. So what I did for the purpose of this presentation is that I called my HOD. The only course assigned to me in my department must be on my portal for the purpose of this demonstration. Yes, I won't be able to select courses. The PG coordinator has done it by now because he promised I have to give him a matching order because we got to HOD. So that, because I'm saying this for us to be able to do the needful and be able to maximize these features for the what you want to do. You are on your portal now. When you're on your portal, just go to LMS4. LMS4. Click LMS4. Please, are we following? If you need a step of this, the same way we do, we can also create a step-by-step guide. So, I'm on my portal now. Under LMS, for me to see those courses, I must select which of the arm of the university I'm teaching. You know, that's the whole essence of the integrated portal. So, I'm going to PG School now. Can you see all of them? PG School, bring the Baba of all, is the last year. So, we click PG School. So, we have to pick the session where you are talking about. We have different sessions here. I will pick 2024, 2025 academic session. And I will pick the semester. Which semester am I talking about is summertime. This I filter. You see, the course is already displayed. And the course title is Scientific Research Methodology. The course assigned for me. Because we have been taking this course even for so many years to mentor our researchers. Because let me say it, at the beginning of PG School, I want to applaud you for this initiative. Record has been said that it's not the Maiden, but even it's not the Maiden, we appreciate your, at least for building on that legacy that other previous days have set. Because the only way to increase research output in a university is through postgraduate. It's through postgraduate because when meaningful research output comes from postgraduate school, it will translate into personal development for faculties. Because when they do quality research, you also have quality publications. So it's going into the right. The University of Ilorin is not doing bad, but we can do better. Somebody was celebrated on Facebook yesterday as the best cited, most cited researcher by ABU in the bulletin, and ABU gave them an award. So I have to just copy the person and look at the book, and I saw 15 score index 15. When I look at my own age index, that I'm not even the best in my faculty. So I said, University of Ilorin, we are not doing bad, but we can do better. So, because quality research will be publishable, will not only be publishable, will also be publishable in a reputable outlet. So, Professor Adeniyi said one thing that we don't really have postgraduate students. We have one postgraduate certificate. And I'm sure PG School can also work on the administration to be able to assign significant part of the budget, to be able to make some of them to teach, we call it graduate teaching assistant, and create a lab for them, then be on full time, because the result will be, there will be a multiplier in terms of productivity, in terms of research outreach. So this is my next. So I selected the unit I'm teaching, that's postgraduate school. That's why the course is listed for me. So when it's listed for me, I'm particular about virtual, the LMS, learning management system. There are so many other things you can do. I've defined why the portal is integrated. Why it's enterprise is that you can get many information that will support your decision. As a lecturer, as HOD, as PG coordinator, you can filter. I want to know in PG school, student came from Kogi State. President, there is a scholarship. You don't need to call down. The PG school can filter this. Because that's why we have the filter. you can quite a number of information from the portal for you to take certain decisions. And that's why we call it enterprise. It's also scalable. It's scalable in the sense that if you remember, we want to have also balloting in the past. Students will say the border has happened, we don't expect that even because it's elastic now. The more the new flow, the portal has an infrastructure that will expand. The more you can eat, the more your stomach, though that's coming at the cost, but that is what can service us as a university with this strength of students and staff. So I'm on my LMS now. I will click on the course. Please let us follow. I will click on this course, then it will land me to the LMS page directly. The LMS page. For every course, we have what we call this thumbnail. The thumbnail is like, do you have an image that can represent what this course is all about? I don't know in Greek. You know, if you are doing pest control. So maybe you have a picture that will represent what pest control is all about. It's a thumbnail. You put it, you know, it's a catch picture that will depict what the course is all about to your students. So, having said that, about is the first thing. You know, we are talking about self-learning. Professor OLAITAN also mentioned it, that the only way that can guarantee lifelong learning is through self-learning. And you cannot achieve self-learning without technology integration, because the only way we can is that when I engage postgraduate students for 2 hours, engage them virtually on their own before our next class. The problem we have is that when you have 2 hours with them this week and you leave, they won't even open that note until the next class. And that is the problem. And that is why they cannot be categorized as a 24th century student. They are not 24th century learners because they are being spoon-fed. So they don't learn on their own. The only way to create self-learning opportunity for them is that you have a 2-hour engagement in class. You are giving them something that will last them for another 12, 15 hours. So, because every student wants to pass, and you tie this into components of your assessment. You don't do it, you won't get 10 marks. Nobody wants to lose the 10. The 10 marks will force them to go back to that and do it. So you are assured that they are not leaving your subject on the next class. And by then, they are learning on their own. Learning will be a lifelong one and will be transformative in a way. Will transform them. And learning we are talking about in the 21st century, with lecturers and educators. Just guide them. They will be able to learn on their own. And technology, the only technology that will afford us that opportunity is the learning management system. And we need to appreciate this university for this initiative, because I must say categorically, the first portfolio-based learning management system we have in the University of Ilorin on both student and staff portal. So I'm saying this because we want all our colleagues to really use this technology. Of course, CODL, I want to appreciate the director of CODL. We had back and forth because technology, when you are integrating technology, there will be challenges before it gets stable. I want to appreciate you because of one thing, man. If not for the proactiveness of the director of CODL, we will not be where we are today. It was just yesterday when I wanted to teach a course on MBA, I discovered that Ilorin business people have not done, they have not even done 20% of what CODL has done, and they are not complaining. So people who are complaining become my friends, because I honestly prayed for you yesterday when that, because they allocated the course of me. I said, okay, I can even teach those students using elements. As what I say. So it means, please give us the headache. Give us, because I can see that for the headache from directors, we will not be where we are today. It can be, change is also a difficulty to every human being. And that is why I don't even blame anybody for playing. You are using something before, somebody wants you to use another thing. Mention the name of a professor. during Professor OLAITAN, they gave every professor, I said, we want to start a smart Senate meeting. This professor was telling me, which year laptop? The also gave a laptop. They should bring it back and we used to check. So, you see, that's a university that also gave laptop. So now, the university cannot afford giving a laptop to students. So, and that's also assisted me in understanding where we're coming from. And we have a very good team that can solve all the problems. When the CODI issue came, I dedicated a whole full stack developer to the center, full stack developer. In computing, when you call somebody full stack developer, that means front end, back end, the basic and develop, not just somebody who started in ICT. And since the posting, I think we started, there will be issues. I can't promise anybody that will not be challenges, but we will always be on top of it because we have developed that capacity for the university. So on the learning management system portal, we have the about. Let's see this about. This is where you put the aim of the course, the learning outcome, the assessment method. So at the issue, your students even know attendance how many marks, CA how many marks, project or portfolio how many marks. So when you are giving them all these things, they will be able to, the level of seriousness they will attack it will be by virtue of what attendance means. As a student, you are difficulty to say your attendance is 20%. Because postgraduate students, some of them are bankers, they don't want to come. Okay? So, and that is, your assignment is a full time that you are filled. So, you don't have to condone any risk as a lecturer. That does not mean you are hostile. You must be able to manage your time to also attend lectures. So, attendance. So, you have the aim. The aim, when I click on the aim now, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, the system just hibernated. No, it's not failure. So you have to click on edit. You click on edit. You click on edit button. So now under edit now, I will now put what is the aim of this course. It's a course goal. So they are giving me a time now, but I'll work with the time. Please, I solicit for another 5 minutes because this is also very important. You say 5 minutes, please, pardon me, I will not spend more than the next 10 minutes. So the aim is the goal. So I'm going to write the goal of the course. I can type blah 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 blah. I'll change it later. So you know the course goal because you are the one taking the course. Then after the edit, you just say. So you go to also you save changes. Here is where you say. You click save changes. Then so student can see the aim of the course. You go to learning platform. You also click on edit. So here, it will give you opportunity to say at the end of this lecture, this is what the student learned A, B, C. You also save changes and the goal student can see it. So you also go to assessment method to state my attendance is 10 marks, my CA is 20 marks, portfolio is 20 marks. Here for postgraduate can be 60. Example what you have actually been. Am I so because I don't know, it has to follow the university convention. But university, some courses are also 40-60. And we enable that also on the RPG. Because why I'm saying this is that if you want students to learn on their own, you give them review, you leave present, and it's not formal. And that is what will open their minds to the emerging areas within that field. So I don't know, please, I to what is in the book. But you work with what in the book and also give them what the assessment criteria. I don't want to spend the modules. You know you have developed your material. When I say modules, it can be synonymous to chapters of your whatever. So you have to upload the lecture modules onto the students' LMS. All of them will see it. If you are going to class, you don't even need to carry anything because they have access. Anything that will serve is that it also promotes self-learning. On their own, they can also read, they can go through. So when you want to add module, you just say add new module. Add new module, you enter the title of the module, okay? Then you go, you describe the module. After you describe the module, you also put a comment. You can put a comment in case you want them to learn certain things or you want to give more explanation. Then you say you create module. So when you click create module here, so the content will be placed here, then you create the module. It won't go because I didn't have anything. So, but that's not the problem. If you have 6 modules in that course, you create module 1, module 2, module 3, up to that. I want people who promise me that after this one, they will do the needful because our students will start feeling this. The moment your HOD assign the PG connector and the courses, it's been done for some courses. But they will complain when the averages will solve it. We have a platform, the PG, whereby when the department has issue, we respond immediately. So let the department do the needful. Then we have resources. Apart from the module, you have lecture notes, you have short video, you have PowerPoint. You can also upload resources onto the platform. If it is Facebook, you click on textbook. If it's lecture notes, you have different category of resources. You have multimedia, traditional links that you want your students to go and visit. You know, it's us, and we also have others. So what this will make us become in an university conduct postgraduate teaching on it. Because some of our professors that are very mobile, it will not stop your contribution to this, particularly postgraduate. You know, those are matured minds. So be able to deliver without compromising the quality and what the learning management system works. You have now the students. Under the student here, you can see I've seen no student, but my department, all the students have not registered back. They don't. Because you won't register except because it are defined for them. So we also need statistics so that we can follow up with those that have not registered. Okay, because those that complain will attend to me. So, and all of us must be on board because this will ease our task, will reduce our stress as fact and because I remember I was in Ghana, it was like a miracle. I was in Ghana 2013, it was 2013 or 2014 with a professor friend. And somebody from America, a friend then, was administering his class, was giving CA, was in Ghana. So this guy was from US, leveraging on technology, which can affect to the same. So because when I look at the cost of transportation to campus, sometimes I think lecturers should also use this technology. Make sure that to come to campus, you can say, I'm coming this week, I'm doing virtual next week. As long as you can, because it's different from Zoom. Students must log into the portal before joining. So it's different from using Zoom or using Google Meet. This is a portfolio base because for a student to join your class, you must join to the university. So we have assignments. So these assignments, when you want to send assignment to students, you can create, you say new assignment. Under this new assignment, you now, what is the title of the assignment? What is the mark assigned to the assignment? You put mark. You put the title, you put the mark here. Then, what's the submission deadline, the due date? You set the due date here. So you put any date of your choice here. Then, what is the due time? It could be today, maybe 12 midnight. You also set the time. The implication is that any student who is not submitting at that time cannot submit. You can see it's a way that you are putting checks and balances without pursuing anybody. Because no students want to fail. So the best way we can even check their SSs is through technology. And when we use this technology, that will reduce their time on TikTok and Reels because they know they want to be angry. Some of them will be that using TikTok. We must create an alternative, a more productive way of using this data without just watching what people are doing on Facebook. So You create it. If you have additional material, instruction, you also put the instruction. Additional material, you put additional material for them, and you submit the assignment. When you submit the assignment, all the students who have registered for this course, they will see the assignment. Only that they cannot submit after the due date. If you want to relax the rule, you go to your assignment to edit the due date because you can edit it as a lecturer. So we have that flexibility. We have discussion. This is discussion. So apart from the synchronous class, the virtual classroom, we also have what we call discussion, which is asynchronous. Your student can ask you question when you want to add thread. You just add thread and you put topic you are discussing, and every student will be contributing. So it's only when you log in that you will see it. Students that log in at their convenient time will also have their own discussion. That may be what you take up in the next class, even before you start. So we can have both synchronous and asynchronous engagement with our students. The discussion will provide the means for the asynchronous engagement with students. So that you have what we call the virtual classroom. That is where we are going. The virtual classroom will afford you the same opportunity that your Zoom, your Google Meet afforded you. So under the virtual classroom, I want to create a class. If the first time that you create this class, subsequently the class is already created, you just add the class. So I will enter the course title. The course title is SCI 802. Okay? The course description is scientific research methodology. Okay? Sorry, let me move. Was talking how to use the online counseling future methodology. Okay? Methodology. Okay? Sorry? Okay. So, this course coach. So I create the classroom. Irrespective, you can put any title, it doesn't matter, it will go. You are the liberty as the lecturer. So I've created this virtual classroom. I can only create this virtual classroom for once. So in the class. So if I want to start the class now, I will start this class. Okay? Click to copy. This is just a security code. Okay? I copy and I'm creating the class. So the classroom is created. Continue, join the class, continue, okay? I click on continue, enter the password, just what I copied. What I copied there is what I will put as a password and I will continue. Okay? Unable to get device label, allow, never allow this time. Okay? I've created the virtual class, can you see? But I'm the only one because this course, no students yet. Because I delegate that to say that the majority of us have not done the nature. So, and on this LMS is when we do the needful that be able to enjoy the facility. So, ordinarily, I will ask the lecturer that they have done their own, but I don't want to use that one. I'm using my own department, a course that is assigned to me as a member of the university, so that we can go and do the needful. You can see very clear video, and that's the same way you are going to see your student. You take attendance, you do a recording of this. We have sent guide on LMS severally. We'll continue to send if our members also want to get familiar with the LMS platform. So this is the new integrated scalable portal system for the University of Ilorin. Because I said it in one of my speeches that if actually we want to be one in Nigeria, we want to be among the first 10 in Africa,
I want to be among the first 500 in the world. We must be able to do what the rest of the world is doing. I want to appreciate the DPG School for this opportunity once again, and I believe this will be an opportunity eye-opener for all of us to deliver more effectively in our respective callings. Thank you, and God bless you.
Again, let's appreciate the Director of State. Thank you very much. Well, because you might be leaving any
to and the university management for giving me this opportunity. To start with, what I just want to address is the departmental postgraduate coordinators. That is what needed for somebody that's called a PG coordinator to be effective. That's what I want to address. Now, who's the departmental postgraduate coordinator? And what qualifications required to be one? To answer this, a PG coordinator is also called level advisor at our normal undergraduate level. But at PG level, we call them PG coordinator. They are so-called level advisors. They have to coordinate anything that has to do with postgraduate study and anything that has to do with PG activities in any department is their responsibility to look into that. This PG coordinator must also be a pace setter. We refer to them as pace setter. You have to stand out in everything. Anything that has to do with PG, you must number one. That is it. Any seminar, you should be the first to be there. Anything that has to do with PG, you have to be number one. Now, when we talk about qualification, he or she must be a PhD holder, because what you don't have, you cannot give it out. You cannot be a PhD coordinator without a PhD. And you want to be assessing PhD students? No, you must have a PhD. Apart from that, based on the university level standard, you must be a person of not less than a senior lecturer to be a PhD coordinator, preferably, so that you'll be able to be in charge. Anything below that, you cannot be in charge. They'll just be driving you here and there because you have a lot of people on top. So, apart from that, a PG coordinator, you have to be computer literate. You have to be computer literate. A lot of them, our PG coordinator nowadays, they are not, I'm sorry, they are not computer literate. I've seen a lot of them at this our bus stop doing scanning. I said, what scanning at the bus stop? They have their phone. They cannot use their phone to do the scanning. A lot of them. So, because of this, another thing you must have, you need to be computer literate so that you should be able to do all this conversion from Microsoft Word to PDF, all sorts of things, scanning to JPEG to PDF, anything, and the conversion of Word to PDF. You should be able to do all these things. You know, not that you'll be calling somebody, your clerk in the office, you'll be stopping them. No, you should be somebody that have all this knowledge. Now, an effective departmental postgraduate coordinator needs a postgraduate coordinator's diary. You need a postgraduate coordinator's diary. And that's what I want to present just now. I want to give us this diary. And once you have it on your system, on daily basis, just make sure you visit there. You won't have any issue and you will be effective in your department. Now, in the PG coordinator's diary, the following activities must be adopted. One, apply accordingly and timely. At the beginning of every section, as a PG coordinator, at the beginning of every section, we expect you to
take some actions. The first thing, as our director of council have just said, as a PG coordinator, you have to assign courses on portal. You do that through your portal. For PGD, that's postgraduate diploma, for the MSc, for MPhil, for PhD, you assign all the courses for each of these programs. After that, you have to do the drafting of the timetable. You don't need to wait for the HOD. It is the duty of the PG coordinator to draft the timetable. We're able to do that. You have to circulate it. You can give it to your HOD to sign so that it can carry weight. But it is your responsibility to draft it, to put it in order, and make sure you circulate it. Then the next thing, you see, when you admit fresh students, it is your responsibility as a PG coordinator to open a file. You have to open a file for each of these students. I'm talking of physical file, like this one. You can see the picture. You have to open a file. On this file, you have their name, their matric number, they don't have matric number, their UI number, all sorts of things, all everything. So that in this particular file, we expect you to find out the following documents: their O level, their MSc results, their PhD results. Now, even any receipt, maybe any payments, must be in that file. Any seminar papers, the protocol, the convention with the selfie, you get it now. The title registration, any seminar, a copy must be in that file. The file must be a complete file. So, another thing you must do at the beginning of each section, for easy dissemination of information, you need to open a WhatsApp platform for each of these programs. That is a WhatsApp program platform for PhD students, for all the MSc students, all the MPhil students, all the PhD students, so that if there is any information for them, just send it through their platform. And that is it. You have any issue, they will begin to call themselves. Paula, have you shared the platform? They said you should do this, you should do that. So that is another thing you must do. Another thing, at the beginning of the section, you as the PG coordinator, you must prepare detailed good standing for the previous section. Good standing for the previous section. And when we talk of good standing, you have to prepare good standing for all the programs, for the PGD, for the MSc, for the MPhil, as well as the PhD. Now, there's something some of us are still missing up. The file sent to us in our various departments is having 4 different sheets. The first sheet is on the MSc. The second sheet The first sheet is for the MSc. The second sheet is for the PhD. The third is for MPhil, while the last one is for the PhD. Now, if you look at that PhD now, lot of PhD, there are a lot of information there that you have to provide. During our last PhD board, a department used that of PhD for all the program. Used that of PhD for the MSc, for the MPhil, which is not supposed to be. So we have different information. Let's take, for example, now for PhD, you only need your protocol. Protocol, you expect it to have maybe 1 or 2 seminars more, and that's all. So, and the next thing is title registration, and then your final whatever. And then for MSc, we don't expect you to do any protocol. No protocol for MSc. But in that one, because they use wrong form, they are now putting not available, not applicable, which is not supposed to be. Please use the right form. For the MPhil, you have protocol, you have conversion. All these things, you have to put the date. We are putting on this to monitor the development of each of these students, whether they are moving forward or they are just standing at a spot. Now, you are done with the beginning of the section. we now move into the written. On daily basis, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, we expect you to fix a date for the seminars. You know, you are the PG coordinator. You are the one having the information from the student. Some student will call you, okay, I would like to present my seminar. So day, yes, noted. So after the collation for that month or for that quarter, you are the one to put the to fix the date for that. Maybe MSc seminar, protocol, MPhil conversion, post-PhD, progress seminar, or title registration seminar. It's your duty. PG coordinator. Now, apart from that, you have to fix the timetable for the written exam. I want us to take this one serious. We won't like a situation where Professor A will just say, you are having my own exam next week. Another professor will come and say, you will be having my own exam in the next 2 weeks. No. There should be a timetable for examination. Then, as PG coordinator, you have to fix that. You can fix the timetable 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month before, so that the most senior professor that is yet to start into our own lecture will see the timetable, and his whole course is also there. They will be forced to gather the meet. We have to meet on Saturday because the timetable is out. They will do the next once you put that ahead. But if you are just putting it maybe 2 days to come, they will fight with you with everything. And that is why you have to plan very job as PG coordinator. Another thing is this: you process each research protocol paper. Research protocol paper. You process them. And 4, to ethical review committee. The moment you finish, you are done with the protocol, you have to process the paper to ethical review committee. That is it. There is a form you will give to the student to fill. Fill is you that will process it, not the student. It's you that will push it to them, to the committee. And you must get a letter for that as PG coordinator. Another thing, correspondence. You prepare memo for your HOD. Most of the memo is the coordinator that will prepare it. You only take it to your HOD for signature. Okay, please help me to sign. And that's all. So memo, if you want to write, you can send them memo through your faculty dean. Through your faculty dean. Or maybe for notice of seminar. Not only that, for examination, then and at the same time, you have to post all these letters on the platform. To know what is going on. Not that just keep it to yourself. No. Another thing is this. Any fresh paper that is going to PG board, any fresh paper that is going to PG board, you have to, after the approval from your own faculty, must be taken to our desk officer, your own desk officer at PG school. That is why you must have a good rapport with them. They are also human beings. You have to respect them. When you have that good rapport, you won't have any issue with our desk officers. They are nice people and they are very good. So just make sure you create that rapport with them. Anytime you call them, they will say, okay, I'll wait for you. This is too far. Don't worry, I'll wait. They will wait for you. They will go through it. Anyone that is not okay, they will tell you. Anyone that is okay, they will sign it. After their own signature, you will now do the scanning. You do the scanning and send it to the PG board email. Through the HOD email, then 2 hard copies must be forwarded to PG board. Now, after each month postgraduate board meeting, we are done with the PG board meeting now. As a good and an effective PG coordinator, you don't need to wait for life. 2 days after, if you don't receive any paper, you have to call your desk officer. Maybe the person has of Oga, and Oga is doing fine. This is our paper. How far? He will give you information and make sure you do all the necessary correction. Not only that, you will sign the corrected copy with your faculty rank. They will put it, they will attach a form for your faculty rank. Don't sign on behalf of your faculty rank. You take it to him, let him see it. And that is it. Then, another thing, you have to monitor the progress of all these papers. You monitor their progress. Like a protocol now that have gone to the PG board. After the approval, you need a letter. You have to monitor the progress of that letter. You don't just hold your hand and say, after all, it's big issue that is to give us letter. No. If you want to put the student into problem, you have to monitor it. Ask the desk officer, please, so letter, I'm here to get it. If this PhD conversion, oh, this is the most delicate one. If the student maybe did the conversion in January 2021, and we are now processing it, maybe you process the paper immediately, and the PhD school, maybe there's mix up somewhere, and you refuse to ask them about for the letter. You now begin to ask them maybe 2 years after. That is the date the letter will bear. And they will begin to count from that date. So that is the implication. So we have to be very, very careful. Make sure you monitor. Before the next PG board, the one who have taken there, you must receive the letter. That is the rule. Our desk officers, they don't waste time. Once it's ready, they will send it to you. So it's you that you just have to make yourself available. Another thing, you make sure the corrected version of the approved abstracts. You know, you send paper for title registration. The corrected copy of that abstract must be the one cited into the thesis before sending it to the external examiner. A lot of students, they don't bother about the corrected one. The one they have been doing, looking at, right from the beginning of the word, that is what they will say. At the end of the day, there will now be a problem during the presentation, during the exam. The external will now begin to condemn. No, this is not a good answer. By the time we look at it, it's not the corrected one. So please, as PD coordinator, it is your duty to make sure the corrected copy is the one inserted into the system, into the thesis. Now, on the day of oral defense, as PD coordinator, on the day of oral event, there are some things you must do. The first thing, you have to make a call, a reminder call to all the internal examiners. You call them one after the other. Please, sir, our exam is telling you, okay. Because you have seen a situation where the external examiner was already on ground, the HOD, the coordinator, the internal. By the time we call, he said it's already in Ekiti. I forgot it. I don't even know the exam is holding today. Can you see that situation? So that we can make necessary arrangements. And you cannot just put somebody to come and sit for him or her. No, you have to consult the PDs, and the PDD must give up for another person before you can do anything. So, as PD coordinator, you must take that also. Then, another thing you must put into consideration, you have to ask the desk officer about all the examiners before they leave their office. Ask them, please, I hope the report of Professor also is already there. Professor also is already, you have included out of external. You ask. So, then, printed copy of page 6 of examination report. This is it. You must get it ready before the exam. As an effective PG coordinator, we cherish our line. That is it. That doctor of philosophy must be on that line. Maybe in statistics, in civil engineering or mass or whatever. It must be there. You have to prepare it so that the external can sign it. Enough is enough of cut and paste. You get it? Some, they will bend it. Even some, they will give it to their messenger. They will turn it upside down. So, God will help us. On the day of that oral event, when you are going, make sure you go with the complete file of that student. Complete file that consists of all the necessary payments from section 1 to section N. All the same, everything, carrying it. It may be a big load, yes. It's part of that. You have to take along when you are going. So, another thing, get the certification page for the thesis. and you must respond. Okay, so we must be on our toes, on our feet. Then these are part of, the examination processes. Eligibility verification. Far, students are eligible for that exam or not. Preparation and submission of exam materials, conduct of exam, evaluation and grading, submission of exam, results, communication of results, and final approval and documentation. I will speak on each of them. Now, exam scheduling, we said submission of examination requests by the Department of Faculty to the Dean. Of course, it will originate from the PG coordinator. You must have the academic calendar. You must be on your feet. You must have the calendar to know when exams are supposed to be. You need to schedule with your HOD. Okay, to say, HOD, we have exams on so date, this is the timetable. Then you must confirm the exam date, then remote, whether it's going to be written, oral, or practical. Eligibility verification. You must confirm, okay, the academic requirements as the coursework being completed. You must verify from students how many lecturers are still writing, are still coming for lectures, so that you know how to worry them up or to speak to them that exam is coming up in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. Please round up your lectures. Then the third point is very, very important. Payment of necessary fees. The school is so particular about that. If you don't pay the necessary fees, especially PhD exam, once you don't pay up to date, you cannot defend. Okay, let me say that what I'm going to be presenting would seem like it's only only required for PhD. No, it's required for all masters, every other PG program. So payment of necessary fees. You must verify PG coordinator on easy life here. Okay, and where's the crowd? Preparation and submission of exam materials. Please, you need to ask coordinators, course lecturers to submit questions. Okay, moderation and approval of exam questions by departmental PG board, not by you. You are not to moderate the questions. Should be done by departmental PG board. And then timely submission of research documents. Conduct of exam. Well, all I want to emphasize here is compliance with examination rules and guidelines. And we're going to talk about the guidelines now. And then evaluation and grading, marking of scripts for written exam, assessment of oral presentation, and preparation of exam reports. Now, let me tell us this. Until I was preparing for this lecture, myself, I didn't know this. An examination is not complete until you as the examiner submit your results. Hello? The exam is not what? It's not complete until you submit the results to either the coordinator or the HOD. Okay, so even while you are marking, the exam is still going on. Okay, while you are grading, the result, the exam is now completed when you submit the results. So that's why evaluation and grading is still there. Submission of exam results. Examiners must submit graded skills and reports to the department, to the HOD. Okay? Moderation and approval of results by examination of the exam by the academic board, not by you as the coordinator or the HOD. No, it must be by the departmental board. There must be a meeting to agree to moderate the results. And then communication of results. Of course, I'm happy that the DPG school is now looking at how we can upload our results on the portal. Okay? With an input from some of us. I think it's the way. I remember when I was in something under Professor Bolu, it was one thing we tried to pursue, okay, that lecturers should be uploading their results. It's the best. When I look at the undergraduates now, and I see, because I'm also a member of PCOS, and I see how results are being compiled undergraduate. I think that's the best way to go. And I think my dean would work in that direction. And then final approval and documentation. There must be validation of the results by school and then by the Senate. Until the Senate approves a result, you are not yet a doctor. Hello, if it's PhD, or you are not yet a graduate of a master's program. No, until Senate approves that result. And of course, archiving of the exam records and issuance certificates. Now, I will skip this part entirely. We can't overflow this. Role of technology in postgraduate examinations. I mean, we have said it severally, and I'm happy that the PG school now, the dean said it in his opening remarks, that an exam can take place with the exam in Japan and the students in America. Okay, that's technology. Okay, so I may not, go through this totally. Okay, so one of the key roles is exam management system, online examination platform, plagiarism detection software. Yes, PG school does that. Okay, from time immemorial. You bring a thesis to PG school, and plagiarism check says you have 60% plagiarism. Just know that you are not going anywhere. That exam cannot hold. Okay? It's international best practice. We just must move with the times. Okay? Digital submission and review of research, yes, we'll get there. Ways by which we can leverage on technology to better our examination processes. Data analysis and visualization tools, yes, many of us use all these SPSS, R, Stata, and the rest. And then automated grading systems, AI-based systems for grading objective assessment. Could get there. We may not be there now, but there are things that we can leverage on to make our examinations better. So what are the benefits of technology in PG exams? Increased accessibility, efficiency, enhanced integrity. AI does not know whether you are Mr. A or Mr. B. It will mark what you put there, isn't it? So enhanced integrity. And of course, the plagiarism check will not say, okay, this belongs to Professor David Debate. I would give him a fair assessment. No, AI is AI. It will tell us what you have written. And then improve data security. Now, what are the challenges to technology adoption in PG exams? We said digital divide and unequal access to reliable internet. If I ask all of us here now, if I take a survey, how many of us can access internet where we are now? You see the results, okay? And then security concern, and then what we say digital divide. Some of us are analog teachers. I'm sorry to use that word. And I have so many of them that I know. Analog. When you say, please upload this, upload that, they'll say, when you want to stop for me, come and preach yourself. Okay? Analog. Right? You have perfect internet, computer savvy, IT savvy, and we have those who are the extreme end. It's actually a broad spectrum, and we have those who are in the middle. Okay, they can do the simple things, but the difficult ones. I'm sure the LMS presented today, I'm sure there will be some people in this university that still cannot use that thing. Okay, so that's why when we come to recommendation, we talk about training. Okay, then we talk about security concerns because we continue to harness technology. We must also put in security, features, because there are some people, there are some Gen Zs that are, they are critical when it comes to IT. Terrible in the opposite sense. Okay, they can hack anything. Okay, so we also must take care of that. Now, what are best practices when it comes to technology integration into PG exams? Well, provide training for students and examiners on digital tools. That's what Professor Jimo and his crew have been trying to do all this while. You must provide training because, I mean, until today, when it came to explain it, I've always been seeing that LMS thing. Anytime I see it, I just pass. I mean, fine, go your way. Okay? But from the explanation today, it's something so simple, so very simple. But there must be training. And then ensure secure ethical use. Ethical use, that is very important. Because if we don't use IT ethically, honestly, in this same university, I remember maybe 2-3 years ago, some students, okay, they were so restless. They had to hack into the system to look at their results. Okay? And they were caught. And one of them, who was a first class candidate, first class student, had to repeat 1 year because of that. Okay, so I mean, IT comes with its own drawbacks, but it does not mean that because it comes with drawbacks, then we should not move with the times. We must move with the times. And then we need to maintain backup where necessary. Okay, and then use blended approach. Technology can fail sometimes. Yeah. So you must use backup, use blended approach, use digital and then in person, do them pari passu until we are totally IT compliant. Now, roles and responsibilities of stakeholders in postgraduate examinations. Now, I'm going to skip entirely this, but it suffices to say I have highlighted here the role of the student, the role of the PG coordinator, which Professor Adejun was highlighted, the role of the examiner, the role of the supervisor, and the role of the HOD. Highlighted all. And I've divided it into the pre-examination phase, the examination phase, and the post-examination phase. Now, when we say post-examination, that is post when you submit your results. I told you, the exam is not completed until the examiner submits the results to the department. So I'm going to also have here, I started with the student, but I'm going to skip all this, but I'm sure Mr. Shedron is writing something for me now. So what are the responsibilities of students? Let me just take this. Maintain a professional and respectful demeanor. Professor OLAITAN talked about, respect, being reciprocal, student to the lecturer to the student throughout the exam process. Uphold principles of research ethics and academic integrity. We must uphold academic integrity. Okay? Demonstrate a commitment to contributing new knowledge to the field of study. Now, for the postgraduate coordinator, pre-examination phase, what you need to do, the examination phase, please don't worry, you will get the slide, okay? And then you'll be able to go through this. I'm trying to beat 15 minutes. And then the post-exam. Now, what are the general responsibilities of the PG coordinator? Again, they must uphold the integrity and quality of PG examinations. Please, as PG coordinator, don't say this person is my friend because all the questions come to you and you want to mass produce. Don't say because person is my friend. Of course, I know it will not happen here, but it's good for completeness sake to say it. Don't leak exam papers to students. Okay? Like I said, it should not be heard amongst us, but for completeness sake, we need to mention it. Then you need to, as the PG coordinator, Professor Adejun mentioned it, you are to serve as a mentor and support system for candidates throughout exam period. If I throughout their life, with you, you are a mentor to them, and you should be a true mentor indeed. And then continuously improve examination practices in collaboration with academic and administrative units. Now, but as supervisor, first thing I said here, research guidance and mentorship. you need to earn that mentor status. Some people are made here because of the quality of supervisor they have when they were in PhD programs. Some supervisors will go an extra mile to make sure that I will mention the name. I'm sorry, but I will mention it. I know Professor Yakubu is when he's mentoring you, he mentors you through and through. Okay? They are people like that. They take it upon themselves to make sure that you are a success, that you succeed. That is who a supervisor should be. The supervisor should be a partner in progress for the students. Okay? So please, as your role and responsibility in the exam, you are to be what? A mentor. Provide continuous academic guidance to these students. Let's give this. So what are the teachers' responsibilities of supervisors? Maintain regular communication with the candidates on the examination process. Supervisor, after an exam, ask him, how far? How was the exam? Was it okay? Okay. How was it? The defense. Did you feel? You feel confident that you have passed? If not, what are the areas you think you need to improve on? Uphold academic integrity. That's why a mentor does not mean you tell them the questions ahead. No. Okay, and ensure adherence to research ethics. Serve as a liaison between the candidate and the PG examination committee, and then continuously update knowledge on PG exam standards and practice. And then we also have the duties of the examiner. Of course, the examiner needs to read the project for the exam. Make sure you read it. In our PhD exam, we have come across, examiners that will collect the thesis maybe 2 or 3 days before the exam, and they just browse, and then they will just mark anything on the assessment sheet. It's academic fraud. Okay? It's academic fraud. Because you are laughing. It's true. Because you have not read it and you are saying it is okay for exam. When you have not read it, we need to be more, how would I put it, to do up and doing. Now, someone has mentioned that the level of remuneration is not, yes, we know that remuneration is at par with what you are putting in, but you have signed up for this job. Do it properly. Okay? It's like somebody will say, God will help us. Okay, roles and responsibilities of the HOD. Yes, I will also skip that. When we get the slide and read that. Now, what are the responsibilities in PG exams? They need to provide academic and administrative leadership. Provide leadership in ensuring the quality and integrity of PG exams. Please, we keep saying integrity of exams. I will come to guidelines, international best practice. There's something I'm going to share with us when it comes to integrity of exam. Are you ready to see me? Please don't see me now. Resolution. Choices are to mediate disputes between what? Candidates, supervisors, and examiners when necessary. You are the overall baba of the department. You are the chief examiner, exactly. So you cannot be seen to be putting petrol when there's ready fire. Good. Now to the main issue of guideline now. Now, here I'm going to highlight some guidelines, examination guidelines by University of Ilorin, and then we'll look at international best practices when it comes to exam guidelines. Now, number one thing is assessment. This is from our PG handbook that has been approved by the University Senate as examination guideline for postgraduate school. Assessment of student performance on coursework shall be based on course examination, in addition to term paper, seminar, and the rest. I'll just be reading these two further explaining. They are all self-explanatory. Examination shall be done at the end 3 minutes. The examination shall be done at the end of each semester in the academic calendar. Each course shall normally be examined at the end of the semester, not at the beginning of another semester. Please, we have to adhere to our academic calendar. Continuous assessment shall be through blah blah blah. Okay. Now, score obtainable for every course shall be 100%, comprised of 30 or 40% of what? Of CA, and then 70 or 60 of the final exam. Number 2 point, the next point, the minimum pass mark for each course for PG is 50%. Unlike undergraduates, there is I think 40 or 45 now. 40. Okay, for PG is 50. And PG we have core courses and elective courses. So if you have a core course and the person scored 49%, and you are now processing that result for PG school, a core course 49%, you can see you have goofed. So let's point. To be eligible for exam, a candidate has to attend a minimum of what? 75% of the lectures and formal instructions. I'm sure many of us are not doing this. The external examiner shall be the last examiner for thesis, for dissertation, thesis, and all taught courses. And then all other regulations regarding the conduct of exams at the University of London shall apply to all PG. So I've just highlighted some guidelines, which I'm sure many of us already know. Okay? And then this very important, I think Prof discussed. The board of examiners of the department must to review and approve many results. Some departments is the HOD and PG coordinator that just compute the result and just say they approve it. It's wrong. It's wrong. You are committing examination fraud. Because the exam is not completed until the result is approved. Okay? The faculty board must also sit on the results. When you at the department level you have sat on the results, you must pass it to the faculty board to also sit on the results. And then from the faculty board, it now comes to the peers. In the case of the college, that's for the exams in the college, after department to faculty and then college board. They all serve as a check and balance. What you don't see at the departmental level, they will see it at the faculty level. What you don't see at faculty level, they will see it at college level before it comes to the PG school. And then, like I said in the last one, results of exam shall be uploaded to students' portal 2 weeks after exam. We are praying we get there. But we are starting there. Because many of us now, we don't upload results. Now, examination policies and guidelines in a global environment. I'm just going to read through. Globalization has reshaped education, including PG exam policies. Institutions must adopt internationally aligned standards while maintaining academic integrity. Now, what are the key principles when it comes to exams at the global level? Number one, equity and fairness. You must give equal opportunity for students from diverse backgrounds. Number two, quality assurance. Very important. And that is why all this level of committees are there for you to maintain quality. Academic integrity, very important. Transparency, very important. Now, what are the emerging trends in exam guidelines? Number one, digital and remote exams. PGC is already doing that. Okay, use of secure online platforms. So these are new trends that are coming to examinations globally, which we are also keen into, though some of it we still have a long way to go. Okay, standardization of assessment criteria. Your assessment criteria must be standardized. If I ask many of us, when you set exams, do you have marking scheme? You will see that Number of people that have marking scheme. Many of us do, but they are not many. So you must have a marking scheme. Okay? Because if you don't do that, sometimes if you are marking the first paper, you are very happy. Mark gave him 90. The second paper you are marking, second candidate, your wife just asks you, please, we need 100,000 or something. Your mindset is already stored, and you now took the candidate's paper. You not to check the link. You can't do that, I know, but you must a marking scheme. Once you have a marking scheme, it's like a standardization of your assessment, which will assess everybody equally. Then cross-institutional collaborations. Let's collaborate. We cannot be an island. University of Ilorin cannot be an island. We must collaborate. We must have joint programs with other universities, exchange programs that allow students to be evaluated by multiple institutions. Recognition of international qualifications. Okay? What are challenges in a globalized now? When I wanted to read this, I heard the thing say, that's why I quickly skipped it, but I'm coming back to it. Recognition of international qualifications. What does that mean? My degree or my master's degree from University of Ilorin went to Canada, would they still recognize it as a master's degree? When I came to UK, would they still recognize it as a what? A master's degree. So, there was a harmonization of examination guidelines to facilitate what? Global degree recognition. Once all institutions globally know that you have a guideline at par with what they also have, then there will be a problem for them to recognize your degrees. What are the challenges in standing up? I'll soon finish. Challenges in a globalized environment. Okay, you will see it from my slide so that this guy will not beat me up. Now, how do we proceed from here? How do we proceed? We said develop universal examination guidelines that's adaptable to local context. Once we're able to do that, our graduates will be happy because their results will be recognized anywhere. And partnership between institutions to standardize assessment practices. Leverage technology to foster global collaboration and innovation. Promote ethical examination practices with robust monitoring mechanisms. Training and retraining of who? PG lecturers. We must train. And that's why I agree with somebody that 3D school we need to maybe a day we bring together all PG coordinators, another day we bring together all HODs, so that we can train ourselves on these things. And then have a genuine commitment to postgraduate studies. Many of us, we take PG studies as second fiddle. Our main occupation is for the undergraduate programs. Should not be. In conclusion, an examination is typically being completed only afterwards the examiner has submitted the results. The submission and approval of results marks the true completion of the examination process, not merely the student's completion of the written or oral task. Globalization demands that examination policies evolve to meet international standards. Like I said, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. We must meet up with international standard. If you want to be part of the first 500 or 100 now in the global community, by adopting inclusive, ethical, and technologically driven practices, PG exams can maintain relevance and integrity in a global academic landscape. The integration of technology in PG exams is essential for modern academic processes. Thank you for this.
Well, there is no way we can actually exhaust 90 paid slides within the given available time. But we want to thank Professor Adiri for doing justice to this. Please let's appreciate him one more time. And the slides will definitely be shared, but I wouldn't know how soon. Secretary, PG. Oh, they've been shared already. Sorry, I'm not on the platform. That's why. All right, thank you very much. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, this will not take time, maybe in 10, 12 minutes. Let's have Dr. Lippman have the rules.
Thank you very much again for the opportunity. Well, thank you very much for attending and for the opportunity to speak to you. I am not going to be saying much. I'll try as much as possible not to be saying much because my predecessor has said everything that needs to be said. I will be very, very brief. I'm not bringing in new things, so I'm not saying new things. I'm basically reminding you of some of the key PG processes and procedure, which many of you would have been familiar with. But at least we are aware that we have a lot of new PG coordinators, we have a lot of new HODs. That is why there is need for us to remind you of some of these very important processes. But in taking this or in discussing this, I will focus more on the issues we face at the PG school with submissions that come. So I will not really go into the nitty-gritty of telling you this is what you should do, this is the 2 copies that you need to submit, and so on. I'll just basically be focusing more on the issues, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do this within the next 10 minutes. This is my outline, which I may not follow strictly. After the introduction, I'll talk about processes for the PG board, processes for business committee of Senate, processes for Senate, then other internal processes before I conclude. One thing we need to take note of, or one thing I need to emphasize, that there are philosophies behind some of our processes at the PG school, and these 5 points basically sums up some of the philosophies that guide our processes at the PG school. Most important of which is avoidance of delay or non-delay of students and promoting efficiency in the processing of postgraduate students. So I'll start with the processes for the PG board. And one of the most important of them, or one of the most important issues that the PG board handles is mounting of new programs. This particular slide just highlights most of the main issues that come to the PG board: mounting of new PG programs, admission recommendation results, PGD results, master's results, MPhil, PhD results, MPhil result, MPhil, PhD results, registration of title, and boot signing. Before I go into discussing this, it's important to note a couple of very important points. One of the most important points is the proper communication channels. The proper communication channel. It is very important that all coordinators and all HODs belong to our WhatsApp platform, because that's one of the most important tools we use in communicating. So please, if you don't belong to the platform, we try. We are really very proactive in that we monitor change of HODs and coordinators. But if you don't belong to the platform, it is good that you let us know, and then we put you on the platform. Most of the very important information on our processes and procedure are contained on the platform. I need not to restate the fact or the importance of the need for HOD's email or the need for communication with the HOD's official email. we are trying to develop a system of effective record keeping. And one of the ways we can trace records effectively is through the HOD's official email. And of course, again, it is important to reiterate the fact of using or sending correspondence to the official email or to the appropriate email. Every particular activity has an appropriate email that correspondence should be sent to. You cannot send thesis for examination to PG board papers. Of course, we have different officials that attend to these things, and each of them handle this email. It's not one individual that handles all the emails in PGs. So it's very important that you be, or it's very important that you know the appropriate email and send to the appropriate email. Timing is very important. I know a lot of people have known us for giving terrible deadlines. Well, not really terrible, but of course it's for the benefit or for the better, for the success of our student, for the success of the program, and for the success of the university. It is very, very important to comply with the timing. Of course, sometimes you get very short notice from business committee or Senate meeting, very short notice for Senate meetings, and we have to do everything we need to do to get documents across. So sometimes we are very, very strict with timing, not because we want to put undue pressure on you, but because of the circumstance that warrant. These are other very important issues that we need to know with regards to processing for PG board or processing of documents to PG board. One very important thing again I need to say to proceed is that students should not handle submissions. We've had this recently, we've had this much more recently, where students bring their results to PGs. This is not supposed to be so. We see students coming to apply for transcript and they're telling us they have copies of their spreadsheets. This is a really terrible situation which we must really be mindful about at the department. Now, with regards to mounting of new program, I will not say much, but of course, you know that the procedure is actually starts at the departmental PG committee and goes to the faculty PG committee. Most importantly, it comes to the PG board, and then it goes to the academic planning and curriculum committee, which is headed by the vice chancellor, before it moves to the business committee of Senate and the Senate. This is the main process, or this is the main procedure. Of course, when you are sending in a curriculum, you send it to the subdean's email, subdean of this Ilorin.edu.ng. The point that needs to be emphasized in this particular regard is that it is not only in mounting of new programs that you bring submissions with regards to curriculum. When you want to make any amendments to your curriculum, you need to resubmit. Anytime you want to make any amendments, no matter how trivial, because it's a Senate document, it is assumed that Senate has approved this document. So any amendment that is going to be done to the curriculum must be brought to, it must follow that process of the departmental PG committee, faculty PG committee, and the PGs. So before it is forwarded to the AP and CC, ECS, and Senate. Of course, we need to reiterate, if you've not admitted students to the program for the past 3 years, you need to mount the program again. So if you have programs that you've not admitted students for the last 3 sessions, you need to bring in a new curriculum for it to be taken. Another important submission for PG board is admission recommendation. And of course, you agree with me, we are by the process of closing submissions for the PhD students for PhD students on Friday for the second semester admission. So timing again is very, very important. Of course, the process starts by advertisement. We've had issues several times where the coordinator and school communicates to PG school that they are not going to advertise the program. And you see colleagues, or you see the HOD coming to complain that they actually intend to advertise the program. So we should actually follow the vehicles. There's a prescribed form for this submission, and there are a lot of issues with regards to students coming to say they are no longer going to proceed with the PhD, they've done their conversion and provide transcript for them. And it's interesting to know here that MPPHD is not an independent degree and we cannot provide transcripts for MPPHD program. So this is one of, because sometimes department gives students access to their examiners report for conversion and they use that to approach the PG school for transcript, because some people use that to approach other schools for admission. This is problematic, and this is really a conduct that we should really be careful about. For PhD protocol, of course, you know the process. You send most of these documents to PG board papers at ilorin.edu.ng. Most importantly, you must give a copy of the protocol. Give a copy of the protocol with sub-binding. We've had a lot of issues in this particular regard: incomplete document, no timeline, no budget, improperly constituted panel, the situation where the supervisor is also the PG coordinator. Of course, there are processes that you need to follow in this particular regard. Registration of title, not so much, but most importantly, the issues we have is low quality of abstract without multidisciplinary PhD examiners reports, a lot of issues which you may already be familiar with, but I will not waste so much time on this. Professor Adejima has spoken about good standing, which is a prescribed one which we distributed to departments, and we expect departments to be able to comply with the requirements. With regards to processes for the business committee of Senate, I need to reiterate, first time is very, very important. Time is of the essence. You submit one, you first submit one copy, one clean copy to the desk officer for approval, and for the dean's signature, you submit 5 clean copies of the documents to the PG school for processing, to PG to the business committee of Senate, and of course for the business committee of Senate meeting, there's no need for ink copies. Now, for processes for Senate, it's a bit more technical. You have to bring evidence of BCOS, corrected copy, 4 hard copies, photo card, which is a bit more problematic for us because it's a prescribed manner in which documents, especially the photos, must be saved. Then we need a clear copy. This regard. With regards to Senate submission, a recurring issue with this is that there's usually conflict